good. Uh, Toad has kind of like a Tamagotchi Pokeball type thing, so he can summon stuff from his Game Boy. Um, Mini Beast. So all of them were supposed to be nostalgic things. This is the one I might change. Mini Beast, when I drew him, he's the guy with the two Joy-Cons, the plus and minus. They're like positive and negative energies or polarities or whatever. So like they're kind of like lightsabers, but they're like little blades. So he kind of like runs with them and stuff like that. And they can change into different things. Because Mini Beast, you still really love. I think he still does, likes Minecraft. So maybe concerns like like the ice picks, like climbing up things. I think that would be really cool. And then Grape, he's Taco's brother, and his magical item, I guess, is like juice boxes and kind of like those. I don't remember the name of them. I thought they were called Kool-Aid Jammers, but I don't think they actually were. But they're like the little twist top things. And then he uses those as like grenades and stuff like that because they were enchanted or kind of affected by something, which I might talk about. And then Bacon's. Wait, no, yeah. I'm trying to remember if I had one for cheese. And I'm still trying to figure out some of the other ones. Like Fox's, he really loved PlayStation, and he had a PlayStation Portable. So I've been trying to figure out things with that. He liked Naruto and like Dragon Ball Z too, so I thought it'd be cool to do something like kind of in that vein of things, that anime vein of things, you know. So yeah, but yeah, it's been really cool working on it. I guess we can read chapter 2 if no one. No one is against that. I just want to. So I was like streaming to YouTube too, just trying it out, and someone was commenting, but I didn't see their comments, so I feel bad about that. They're asking if there was a Twitch, and there is. Okay. Tanuki Hero Chapter 2, The Unexpected Party. That's crazy. Sounds like quite the adventure, Bacon smiled. Deep in conversation, the two friends almost didn't notice that they had reached their destination. There they stood, on the exterior of the building on which sat the loft, a long ago since abandoned library, which the friends had now adopted as their home. Bacon looked up at the loft, then back to Toad. Well, we're here. Home sweet home. I gotta get back to my wife and kid. Good to see you again, man. Bacon embraced Toad again, then put his hand on his shoulder and smiled. Toad was sad to say goodbye to his friend, even if it was just momentary, but he smiled back as well. Yeah, you too. Bacon began to walk away, then stopped and turned around. Actually, you should hold on to this. I remember you having a file in here, right? He reached into his pocket, then handed Toad the Game Boy Advance. And then just like that, he was gone. Toad looked up in trepidation at the front door, then back to where Bacon once stood. Suddenly, the door burst open. There stood Ice, right in the doorway, in front of him. Before Toad knew it, Ice gave him a warm embrace. Hey, bro, welcome home. It's great to see you. Ice put his arm around Toad, leading him to the door. Come on, man, we gotta get you upstairs to show you what we've done to the place. You'll hardly recognize it. The two reached the top of the stairs, dead-ended by a door. Well, here we are. Those stairs are quite the workout, huh? Ice opened the door. Everything inside was dark. Wow, yeah. Hardly recognize it. I can hardly see it. Toad chuckled warmly. Ice reached over to the wall and flipped the light switch on. The scene filled with light, revealing the friends all standing there. They all shouted, "Surprise!" Ice stood there dumbfounded, as he could hardly recognize the place he had just left. The blankets previously strewn about the room were now folded nicely in the corner basket. The counter was decorated with various bowls of punch, and the dining table, which till this moment he forgot they had, was decked out in a delicious variety of foods. Toad was surprised and elated as well. They all embraced in a hug. Then there was a knock at the door. Minnie went to open it, and there stood Toad's old friend, Joker. He was much more muscular now, with a deck of cards in hand. Joker had dark hair with a similar complexion to Minnie. "You didn't start the party without me, did you?" Joker smirked. Toad embraced Joker as they all laughed together. "Well, what are we standing around for? Let's eat," Mephiles exclaimed. After the hearty sustenance, the friends headed out onto the rooftop of the loft. The afternoon was drawing to a close. All the friends sat gazing out at the skyline. Bellies full and hearts warm, Toad looked around at his friends with gratitude in his eyes. What is this music? Maybe let's switch it back. Yeah, that would have been much better. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. Ice looked at his brother Toad. "So what are your plans, man?" Toad looked back, then stared off into the distance. "I don't know. I guess take life as it comes," Toad chuckled. "I can't believe all of you are living here together. Must be such a crazy fun time." Tosh chimed in. "Don't worry, man. We won't take it easy on you. You'll be getting the crazy full force." All the friends laughed in agreement. Toad looked around, realizing that one of the friends had disappeared. Wait, where's Meph? But it was too late. Meph was standing above them, further up the roof. As he shouted below, "It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground! Chaos! Swiss! Roll!" Meph rained down a barrage of cinnamon buns upon the friends. Suddenly, the power across the city went out. "What's going on?" Fox shouted. All looked up, just as bright neon light shot across the sky. Little sparks of light of different colors. It fell down towards their building, illuminating the dark surroundings. The city then returned to normal as power returned to the buildings around them. Taco was the first to respond. "Whoa, that was weird." Mephiles smiled down at his friends below. "Guess it's just the city welcoming you home." Toast looked up in sudden fear. "Oh dang, my PC! I left it running." He jumped to his feet and headed into the house. The others followed suit. The loft was dark, except for glows of light coming from various places in the room. Each object was glowing at a different frequency and a different color. On the main floor, the guitar, keytar, and Joy-Cons were all glowing with an eerie, pulsating light. Later, Toast returned from upstairs. "All good, guys. My PC is fine. The Virtual Boy is a bit weird, though." He held up the VR headset, which now was also glowing. The friends looked around dumbfounded. "And check this out." Toast reached into his pocket and pulled out his D20. It was now also pulsating with that self-same glow of light. Toad instinctively reached into his pocket and pulled out Bacon's GBA, now glowing. "This is quite irregular. Guess all that tech got affected somehow," Tacos regarded. "I'm not too sure, Tacos. Check it out," Cheese responded. They all looked over where Cheese and Grape were standing, with a Costco-sized pack of Kool-Aid jammers now glowing as well. "Yeah, not just tech, man." Joker held up his deck of cards, glowing mysteriously. "Pretty cool effect, though." Joker smiled. Meph returned from around the corner with his prized Nintendo Power Glove that his dad had given him in his hands, also glowing. The friends, each intrigued by the glowing, picked up the objects one by one, examining them. "Wow, things have sure changed. What is this, guys? Some type of new tech? Toad questioned. The friends looked around silently in confusion. Toast was the first to respond. Nah, man. We ain't sure what this is. Just then the lights flickered, and a dark entity appeared before them. It approached slowly, closer and closer. Ice was now visibly concerned. Guys, what's going on? What are we supposed to do? The friends each stood back against the wall, holding the glowing objects. Well, these are glowing. I guess they must do something cool, Toad chuckled. Meth stood at the head of them as he placed the power glove on his bandaged hand. Yup, let's put this to the test. He pumps his fist in preparation. The friends looked around each other and nodded in agreement. Meth led the charge. Chaos, Swiss roll! That's the end of chapter 2. I realized that like with all the characters, it's hard to differentiate their voices because I'd never really thought about what their voices would sound like in my voice. But yeah, I digress. Okay. Buster said, Chaos Swiss roll. Yeah, that was something that Methless used to say all the time during streams, and I think it was like a meme or some Vine or some video at some point. But it became like so connected to our channel and stuff that when I was in college, I had this pillow made just to remind me of it. Chaos Swiss roll. And it's funny because I think Swiss rolls are actually like the they're kind of like they're made by what is that, Little Debbie's or whatever. They're kind of packaged. They're not necessarily like a cinnamon roll, but that's how I always saw it when I was a kid. So I decided to write it into the story that way. It's cinnamon roll adjacent, you know, or like sweet roll adjacent. It's hard to. I don't know about the music. I don't know. Hopefully it's not too loud. How's the volume on the music with talking, Buster? And like the story is supposed to kind of take place in like cyberpunk kind of, but more like retro. I found a word that kind of matched that. Like vaporwave. Like the story, I want to have some reference to Blockbuster and stuff. Lots of like early 2000s, 90s stuff. I think I have 4 chapters on my website, but I'm working on the 5th chapter, writing it. Okay, we are going to read chapter 3, When Death Knocks. There was a hollow knock from the front door. Who could be here at this hour? Bacon wondered out loud as he made his way downstairs. Bacon slowly opened the door, revealing the milkman standing there apologetically. Oh, it's you, Wilbur. How goes it? Bacon smiled. Wilbur stood. You don't hear the music? Your volume's a bit low, though. Oh, okay. I can probably turn it up a little bit then. I have it down really low. So that makes sense. Maybe it's best. I don't know. Let's see. Thanks for that.